Welcome to About Mansfield. It is your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo, broadcasting from the Solmark Studios, along with the About Mansfield news team. Colleen Daniel, she's out there in Studio West. This is the May 28th, 2025, 273rd edition. Coming up, it's Mansfield News, Talk, and Information.
And a little later in the episode, you will have a chance to win a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice with our Mansfield Trivia Question, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance.
Let's take a look at the stories we're covering this week.
Mansfield High salutatorian makes a bold statement.
Tarrant County mayors band together in opposition of redistricting proposals.
Long-awaited 287 to Lone Star Road exit ramp is now open.
And in sports, North Texas SC extends their winning streak.
And in the talk segment, Steve talks in studio with nonprofit founder Shawn Serfass, who is doing great things with Mansfield's youth. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Are you ready to create unforgettable memories? Picture this: an enchanting event venue nestled amidst breathtaking landscapes with panoramic views right here in Mansfield. The Grand View Event Center is the perfect setting to bring your vision to life. From intimate gatherings to large-scale extravaganzas, the Grand View has flexible spaces to accommodate any occasion, be it a graduation or school function, art exhibition, or birthday or anniversary party. Book your next unforgettable experience at thegrandviewmansfield.com. That's thegrandviewmansfield.com. The Grand View Event Center, where memories are made and dreams become reality. Book your event today.
Looking for a night out that's anything but ordinary? Step into Vault Seafood and Steakhouse, Mansfield's premier upscale dining experience. Savor perfectly aged steaks, fresh seafood, and handcrafted cocktails, all served in a stunning atmosphere. Want more? Enjoy private dining rooms and a cigar lounge for that extra touch of luxury. Vault delivers exceptional flavor in a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Located at Matlock and Country Club, Vault Seafood and Steakhouse. Unforgettable nights. Unmatched taste.
Hi, I'm Haley Hudson, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. We have a new sponsor. This portion of the news is brought to you by Vault Seafood and Steakhouse.
Mansfield High salutatorian Lily Rossman addressed her fellow graduates at Friday afternoon's graduation ceremony with a call to remain engaged in learning and civic life beyond the classroom. In her speech, Rossman reflected on the friendships and memories formed during high school, saying,
"High school has been a journey, full of experiences and friendships we'll never forget. I made a friend I know I'll have for the rest of my life in my Algebra 2 class."
She also used the moment to speak about challenges facing public education and higher learning, citing concerns about academic funding and legislative measures at the state level.
Graduation is a moment to reflect on the world around us, a world that's changing at a pace so rapid we can barely keep up with it.
Rossman noted that some students are pursuing fields she believes are actively being defunded and expressed concern that
grants are being terminated, funds are being frozen, and money is being withheld from these universities until they comply with demands that, among many other things, restrict academic freedom and put research in peril.
Rossman referenced Senate Bill 2, the school voucher program in Texas that passed on May 3rd, and shared her view that it could divert funding from public schools to private institutions not subject to the same regulations, and urged her peers to stay active in the conversation.
We do not have to sit here silently and watch as these changes unfold. We are not powerless. We have voices. We have passion. Look around this room. Every single person in here, every student, every parent, every community member, every teacher cares deeply about what's right for every child.
Rossman closed her remarks by encouraging continued growth and curiosity, regardless of future academic paths.
Even if you aren't planning on attending an institution of higher learning, maybe you don't have the means to, maybe you simply don't want to, you can still continue to learn and grow. So as we're leaving high school behind, let us all remember, it's not just about what we learned in these last 12 years. It's about how we use that knowledge to shape a better future for ourselves and for those who will come after us. So go ahead, read the banned book, and draw your own conclusions.
Lily is the daughter of Daniela and Shawn Rossman, graduated with a GPA of 108.356, and will attend Johns Hopkins University in the fall to major in molecular and cellular biology.
10 city mayors in Tarrant County, including Mansfield Mayor Michael Evans, are urging Tarrant County Judge Tim O'Hare and the 4 county court commissioners to reconsider or delay the current redistricting process for commissioner precincts. In a joint letter sent to the Tarrant County Commissioners Court Friday morning, the mayors expressed concern about the legality and timing of 5 proposed redistricting maps. They argue the maps will not comply with state and federal laws, including the Texas Election Code and the U.S. Voting Rights Act. According to the letter, the proposed maps could place parts of a single voting precinct into more than one commissioner district, something state law does not allow. There's also concern that the maps will reduce the voting strength of minority communities. The mayors also questioned the use of 2020 census data, saying it may no longer reflect the county's rapidly growing population. They suggest either delaying the redistricting process until after the 2030 census or taking more time to thoroughly review the proposed maps. The letter was signed by mayors representing the 3 largest cities in the county, Fort Worth, Arlington, and Mansfield, as well as several other Tarrant County municipalities. Collectively, the 10 mayors represent approximately 79% of Tarrant County residents. The Commissioners' Court has not yet publicly responded to the letter. The commissioners will vote on the redistricting proposal on Tuesday, June 3rd.
Meanwhile, Precinct 2 County Commissioner Alyssa Simmons released a statement Friday stating, quote, "I commend the 10 mayors of Tarrant County who have taken a reasonable and courageous stand in opposing the mid-decade redistricting efforts being pushed by Judge Tim O'Hare and his allies on the Commissioner's Court. Their unity letter reflects what so many residents already understand. This process is not only legally questionable and morally wrong, it is fiscally irresponsible. The mayors are right to speak out. This is not just a minority issue, it's a community issue. It's an attack on our values, on good governance, and on the wallets of hardworking families across our county. I stand with these mayors and with every resident who expects reasonable leadership, equity, fairness, and fiscal responsibility from their elected officials. We all deserve better," end quote. At the county level, Commissioner Simmons represents Mansfield, as well as Arlington, Dalworthington Gardens, Kennedale, Pantego, and parts of Grand Prairie.
And Colleen, it's been a long time coming as traffic signals at US 287 frontage road intersections with Lone Star Road will change from flashing red to normal green, yellow, red operations on Wednesday, May 28th. The contractor made several traffic pattern changes following the Memorial Day weekend. First, on Tuesday, the new Lone Star Road exit ramp from southbound 287 was open to traffic and permanently closed the existing exit. The new southbound to northbound Texas turnaround lane at Lone Star Road also opened Tuesday. Secondly, weather permitting, the new traffic signals at the 287 frontage road intersections with Lone Star Road will be activated from flashing red to normal green, yellow, red operation on Wednesday. The TxDOT project began on July 5th, 2022 as part of a broader infrastructure initiative involving the reconstruction of the 287 frontage roads, enhancements to the Lone Star Road bridge, and the addition of new traffic signals at key intersections. North Texas SC extends its winning streak, and we'll talk about it because sports is next.
Hungry for bold flavor and a good time? Head on over to El Primo's to enjoy sizzling fajitas and their signature blue margarita. Enjoy weekend live entertainment and let the kids run wild with an outdoor play area and arcade. Planning a party, multiple private rooms are available, including the all-new Parrot's Nest to make your event a success. Food, fun, and flavor for the whole family at El Primo's. Visit elprimos.net and bring your appetite. Located at Matlock and Country Club. El Primo's, where the locals go.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo, and are you ready to make your voice heard? Want to bring out your ideas to life through captivating conversations and engaging visuals? Look no further than Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio, your one-stop destination for award-winning audio and video podcast recording. Equipped with cutting-edge microphones, crystal clear audio recording, and high-definition cameras, we're here to turn your ideas into engrossing content. But it's not just about the equipment. We're dedicated to bringing out the best in your content. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, we're here to elevate your podcasting game. We'll even help you with intro music, transitions, voiceover, and that professional polish that sets your podcast apart. So whether you're into interviews, storytelling, or simply sharing your expertise, Podcast Mansfield can help bring your podcasting dreams to life. Visit podcastmansfield.com. Podcast Mansfield, where creating your podcast masterpiece has never been easier.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a Level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
In sports, in MLS Next Pro action, North Texas SC earned a 3-2 victory over Tacoma Defiance Sunday night at Starfire Sports Stadium in Tukwila, Washington. The win marks the team's third on the road this season and extends their current winning streak to 4 games. Captain Sam Sarver led the scoring with goals in the 19th and 77th minutes, recording his third brace of the season. Forward Fiasu Sangare added his first goal of the season in the 74th minute. Sangare, who joined the club back in April, was later issued a red card. With the win, North Texas improves to a 6-3-2 on the season and now holds 21 points. With 11 matches played, the win for North Texas puts them in second place in the season standings with 17 games still to play. North Texas closed out the month of May with a perfect 3-0-0 record, including 2 road wins. The club has now gone unbeaten in the last 4 matches, dating back to April. North Texas SC is the MLS Next Pro affiliate of FC Dallas. The team plays its home matches at Choctaw Stadium and is set to move, you know this, to Mansfield Stadium in 2026. And that, my friends, is a look at sports. This coming Thursday, May 29th, and Sunday, June 1st, we recognize 2 national days of this week, as it's a curious time on the calendar because this week we celebrate both National Red Nose Day and National Red Rose Day, just 2 days apart. Coincidence? Or is it the universe trying to tell us something, perhaps with clown makeup and romantic tension? Now let's break it down. Red Nose Day is all about raising money for kids in needs, a noble cause that involves celebrities donning red clown noses and trying to be funny, which, depending on the celebrity, is either wildly entertaining or deeply uncomfortable. Then comes Red Rose Day, a day to honor the beauty, the fragrance, and timeless symbolism of the rose, a day of love, romance, overpriced floral deliveries. It is essentially Valentine's quieter, less emotionally complicated cousin. So what do the 2 days have in common? Well, for starters, both involve red accessories, and both bring tears to someone's eyes, one from laughter, the other from pollen allergies. But the differences? Oh, yeah, they're striking. One involves planting seeds of love, the other involves planting whipped cream in someone's face. And one says, "I cherish you forever," while the other says, "Honk if you love me." So whether you're looking for a red nose to help children or a wed woes to woo your sweetheart,
a red rose, how romantic.
Just don't get the two confused, because nothing kills the mood like showing up to a date in a flower shop with squeaky shoes and a whoopee cushion.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
Fireworks are just around the corner, and we'll talk about it with Tim Roberts in the Cultural Arts Calendar.
I'm Angel Biasatti. Many people suffer from a severe headache from time to time, but not every bad headache is a migraine. We'll talk about ways to prevent headaches next in Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, we're wrapping up our garden party series with a crowd-pleasing bowl of liquid sunshine for the ultimate outdoor entertaining solution.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by El Primo's, where the locals go.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, where excellence is still cool.
Congratulations to Terry Simmons, who knew that Earl C. Driscoll was a newspaperman. Historic Mansfield Incorporated cites that Driscoll was educated as a lawyer and started his journalism career in 1907 when he joined the staff of the Fort Worth Star. Largely through his editorial efforts, a major road bond package was passed in 1911 that set an example for other state and local highway programs. When we come back, this week's trivia question. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
It is time right now, right here, right now, for the highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield Trivia Question. If you are the first person to email the correct answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com, you will receive a $25 gift card to a Mansfield area restaurant of your choice. It's brought to you by Joe Jenkins Insurance. Whether you're looking for homeowners, auto, commercial, or any other type of insurance, Joe has helped Mansfield area residents understand the insurance coverage that best fit their needs since 2010. You can find him on the internet at joejenkinsinsurance.com. Colleen, it's your turn.
Well, Steve, the city of Mansfield has just one zip code, 76063. But with Grand Prairie, Arlington, and other municipalities landlocking Mansfield, we are surrounded by 11 zip codes. This week's question is, can you name 4 of the 11 zip codes that border Mansfield? Email your answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com. Again, can you name just 4 of the 11 zip codes that border Mansfield? Also, if you can name all 11, we'll throw in an extra bonus prize. Good luck, and thanks to Joe Jenkins Insurance for the gift card.
Hey, I'm Chef Zachary Mann, culinary instructor over here at Ben Barber Innovation Academy, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section.
It's time for the Cultural Arts Calendar with Tim Roberts. He is the tourism manager with the city of Mansfield. Tim, welcome back again to About Mansfield.
Great to be back. Great to be kicking off the summer in true with both events and heat here in Mansfield.
That's right. That's right. And the 4th of July is coming up. But before that, we have several events going on around town, starting off right here at the beginning of June.
Yeah, June 1st, the Mansfield Philharmonic. They are back in the Far Best Theater. They're back where it all began concert. They started back in 2017 as the Next Gen Players back then.
I remember.
Kicking it off on Thursday third Thursdays in the Far Best. They've grown so exponentially ever since and become such a staple of the cultural arts scene here at Mansfield. And so now they're coming back to the Far Best for a nice intimate concert.
My wife and I attended the last concert that they produced, and it was they hit the road. They traveled to Fort Worth, and they were performing with the 10,600 pipe organ in the Broadway Baptist Church. It was amazing.
Yeah, they're spreading the good news of Mansfield arts to all the surrounding communities. So come check them out, 7 p.m. June 1st at the Far Best.
One of my favorite events that takes place every month at the Far Best is
Open Mic Night, June 5th, Thursday, June 5th. It's always on a Thursday. Come on out and check it out, 7 p.m. Because I always say the same pitch, but it never changes. You'll never find a more welcoming, warm environment. If you're skittish, if you're got stage fright, lose it. They will help you get to that next level of performing in front of folks.
Or just go and attend and sit in the chair and watch other people make
Exactly.
Let's you have a couple of art events.
Yes, over at the Wallace Hall Art House, that is 210 South Main Street. We are opening up our brand new exhibition, which is called Freedom's Voice. It's a special Juneteenth exhibition that'll run through June and July. The old exhibition moves out on June 1st, but we're having an opening reception there at the house at 6 p.m. on June 8th, and then on June 19th, Juneteenth itself at 6 p.m., we'll have another special Juneteenth reception. As far as the house itself, it'll be open Thursday through Sunday in the afternoon hours where you can come peruse the art at any time. Most of it's for sale, all put together by locally based artists. Just a fantastic new venue that we've had a real blast getting kicked off here in 2025. 210 South Main Street. Find the firehouse. Find Fire Station 1. It's the house right next to it.
Right next door. Let's talk about, again, another stage play right here at the Far Best Theater.
Yeah, the Troop Theater, a new up-and-coming theater has been going on for about a year now. They'll be presenting Hairspray, the classic musical, June 19th through the 28th.
Is that the one that goes, "Good morning, Baltimore"?
I believe so. Don't quiz me on soundtracks. I know it's the one that has the big hair. That's all I know from the poster.
It actually is.
Don't ask me anything beyond that. I know it's got big hair, and I know who was in the movie.
John Travolta.
John Travolta. There we
was
go.
in the movie.
Yes. He's not going to be at the Far Best Theater, but it's going to be a great show nonetheless. That's going to close out the month June 19th to the 28th.
I love fireworks. Let's talk about July 3rd.
Yeah, go ahead and give a sneak peek into July real fast. July 3rd will be the annual Mansfield Rocks Fireworks Spectacular, launched from its normal spot there around Heritage Parkway. We know where people love to go check out and watch. You can go to MansfieldRocks.com for more information on localized watch parties. Just get a sense of when it's going to, where you need to be to see them. But again, that's 9 p.m. on July 3rd.
And then just a couple of days later,
July 5th. I wanted to preview this one, even though we'll probably mention it again on our next podcast hit. But Small Town Outsiders, our first originally produced mini-series shot exclusively here in Mansfield by Mick Hill Entertainment. They are premiering season 2 on July 5th at 7 p.m. in the Far Best Theater. And I want to give everybody a heads up about it because tickets are already flying off the shelves. I can't guarantee that that's not going to be sold out come mid-June. And hey, what's better than 4th of July weekend and a sci-fi blockbuster in the classic Far Best Theater? Again, it's a very fun series. You can go watch season 1 right now for free on Tubi, or I believe the Roku channel. You can find it as well. Just search Small Town Outsiders and you can hunt it down and catch up on season 1 and then come and join them for the season 2 premiere. Again, July 5th. Tickets are on sale now.
That's a really cool series. My wife and I watched the season 1. It's Small Town Outsiders, again on Tubi, or check out the Roku channel, see if it's on there. But Small Town Outsiders, produced right here in Mansfield. And you will see in the program some of the episodes, some of the places that you will recognize.
Oh, yeah. It's all shot. I'm almost entirely here inside Mansfield or the surrounding areas. Again, all by local filmmakers. As a film-friendly community, we want to attract in a lot of stuff, but what we really love is getting to build up homegrown entertainers like Michael and his crew.
Let's go ahead and wrap this up. What do we got every Saturday?
Every Saturday at 703 East Broad, it is the Farm and Cottage Market, 8 a.m. to noon. You can't miss that one. Hit there closer to 8 a.m. than noon nowadays because that heat is kicking up. And then wanted to close out reminding everybody that this month at the Wallace Hall Art House, we have over a dozen art classes. And that's why I'm not going to try to rattle through all of them, be here another 10 minutes. But you can find all the information on that at MansfieldTexasArts.org as we just grow and try to hit every single quadrant of the things. On this calendar right here, we've got art exhibitions, art classes, concerts, open mic nights, theater, and a film premiere. So, I think that about hits every base.
And fireworks.
And fireworks, which is art in the sky, if you ask me.
There you go. That, my friends, is the Cultural Arts Calendar. That, my friends, is Tim Roberts, the tourism manager for the city of Mansfield. Tim, let's do it again next month.
See you then.
Angel Biasatti is here to remind us that not every bad headache is a migraine. In Methodist Mansfield, news to know. Angel?
Many people complain about migraines. However, there are numerous types of headaches that are likely causing that pain. Typically, a doctor diagnoses a migraine when a person shows at least 2 of these headache-related symptoms: nausea, vomiting, sensitivity to light or sound. Another thing that sets migraines apart is they can be disabling in nature for the person. A migraine headache often makes it difficult to concentrate. Many people have to lie down to get relief from their migraine, or lie down in a dark room. Anyone who believes they suffer from migraines should keep a headache diary. Log the date, the time, the description, and location of each headache, and share those findings with your doctor to help pinpoint the symptoms, the possible triggers, and warning signs that a migraine is coming on. In many cases, that annoying to sometimes unbearable head pain can be remedied with simple lifestyle changes. The best way to prevent headaches is to take care of your body. Make sure you're drinking enough water during the day. There's a documented link between headaches and dehydration. The rule of thumb is for women to drink about 11 cups of water a day and 16 cups for men. Your body needs the water to keep it operating as it should. Exercise. Physical activity like Pilates or running can loosen up tight neck and back muscles and send positive hormones to the brain to keep an incoming pain at a minimum. Eat right. Many patients admit to skipping meals, which directly correlates to more headaches. Snack on nuts or vegetables in between meals could also help prevent hunger pains and migraines. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, headaches are just one of the many issues that can stem from sleepless nights. You may be at a higher risk for obesity, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke by not getting enough sleep. The recommended amount of sleep is 7 to 8 hours a day. If you keep up with your meals, hydration, and relaxation for several weeks with no improvement, it's time to see a physician to help find a diagnosis and the root cause of your headaches or migraines. To find a doctor on the medical staff at Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, telephone 1-877-637-4297. Reporting for About Mansfield, I'm Angel Biasatti with Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up a bowl of liquid sunshine for the ultimate outdoor entertaining solution in this week's Cocktail of the Week. Brian?
Today's feature is the Garden Party Punch, a crowd-pleasing bowl cocktail that brings together white rum, fresh cucumber, bright lime juice, aromatic mint syrup, and the effervescence of sparkling wine. This punch is the perfect solution for entertaining, allowing you to prepare most of it ahead of time so that you can enjoy your own party rather than playing bartender all afternoon. So what makes this punch special? First off, white rum. Again, we're making a large batch, so 2 cups or 16 ounces for a batch serving 8 to 10 people. Select a quality white rum for some character. Plantation's 3-star, the rum JM Blanc, or Prohibas for a more complex than the basic Bacardi. But if all you've got is Bacardi, Bacardi always works. The rum provides the backbone without overwhelming the delicate garden flavors. Its subtle vanilla and tropical notes complement our fresh ingredients perfectly. Then you're going to need fresh cucumbers. You're going to need 2 medium-sized cucumbers. English or Persian cucumbers work best as they have fewer seeds and thinner skins. The cucumber adds refreshing coolness and subtle vegetal sweetness that makes this punch distinctly garden-inspired. And we'll be both infusing the rum and using cucumber slices with the visual element. You're going to need about a cup or 8 ounces of lime juice. Always use freshly squeezed lime juice. You'll need approximately 8 to 10 limes depending on their size and juiciness. But the bright acidity balances the sweetness and adds a zesty dimension that keeps this punch lively on the palate. Mint syrup, 1 cup, 8 ounces. This provides sweetness and aromatic herbal notes. To prepare, we're going to do a simple syrup, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar. Then you're going to add 1 bunch, about 1 cup of packed fresh mint leaves. Bring it to a gentle simmer, stirring until the sugar dissolves completely. Remove from heat, let steep for about 30 minutes, and then strain through a fine mesh sieve. Cool completely and refrigerate until needed. Sparkling wine, you're going to need 2 bottles. Use a dry or extra dry Prosecco or Cava. Cava is the Spanish version. Nothing too expensive, but not the cheapest option as well. The sparkling wine adds effervescence for a touch of sophistication. And for garnish, we're going to have cucumber slices, lime wheels, and fresh mint sprigs. Again, ice. Always remember, don't forget the ice. Ice is for both chilling during preparation and for serving. Consider making a large block ice for the punch bowl, which melts more slowly than cubes and won't dilute your punch as much. For glassware, you're going to need a large punch bowl or large glass dispenser, something with at least a 3-gallon capacity for this recipe. If you don't have a punch bowl, a clean galvanized metal bucket or large glass beverage dispenser will work nicely for the garden party aesthetic. For individual servings, use whatever glassware suits your party style. A mason jar, a Collins glass, a wine glass. Heck, a red Solo cup works in my house always as well. The key is to choose something sturdy enough for outdoor use. So how are we going to begin preparing for our day? So we're going to slice 1 cucumber into thin rounds, reserving some for garnish, and cut the second cucumber into small chunks. Then we're going to place the cucumber chunks in a large glass container and add the white rum. Cover and refrigerate for at least 4 hours or better overnight to infuse. After the infusion, strain the rum through a fine mesh sieve, pressing gently on the solids to extract all the flavor and all the rum from the cucumber. You're going to discard the solids afterwards. In a large punch bowl or dispenser, combine the cucumber-infused rum, the fresh lime juice, and the mint syrup. Stir well to integrate all the ingredients. Then float thin cucumber rounds and lime wheels in the mixture. At this point, you can refrigerate the base until it's ready to serve. It can be prepared up to a day ahead of time. And then just before the guests arrive, gently add large ice blocks or cubes to the bowl. If using a block of ice, gently place it in the punch to avoid splashing. When you're ready to serve, slowly pour the chilled sparkling wine, allowing it to cascade the sides of the bowl to preserve as much of the carbonation as possible. And then garnish with fresh mint sprigs and additional cucumber slices for visual appeal. Provide a ladle for serving and set out prepared glassware with additional garnishes on the rim if desired. The Garden Party Punch brings together centuries of traditional entertaining with fresh contemporary flavors. It's the perfect finale to our garden cocktail series, a crowd-pleasing, make-ahead solution that lets you enjoy your own gathering while providing guests with a sophisticated and refreshing drink option. But as always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey is barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with Steve's interview with youth mentor Shawn Serfass.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, A remarkable transformation is underway, but it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
I'm Yulani Lashley, President and CEO of Texas Health Hospital Mansfield, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. And in the studio today, he is the director of a nonprofit organization that empowers at-risk youth, particularly young men, by connecting them with mentors who have overcome adversity and now lead successful, purpose-driven lives through mentorship, life skills training, and community engagement. They aim to break cycles of poverty, crime, and hopelessness. Again, the director of Second Chance Mentors, Shawn Serfass. Welcome to About Mansfield.
Thank you a lot, Stephen. Thanks for having me on the show. It's a really cool opportunity. I appreciate you taking the time to let me come on here with you.
Before we get into the nuts and bolts of what Second Chance Mentors is, I want to know more about you.
Sure.
Because you and I just met like 5 minutes ago, so yep. I don't know much about it. Although I have in your bio a little bit about you. Hopefully, you're going to touch on that. So let's start with where you from and where you grew up. And
perfect. I'm used to doing this. I love sharing this story. So sure. I actually grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia. My dad was stationed at Little Creek. My dad was in the Navy, a commander in the Navy. So growing up from about when I was born to about 10, my dad was in and out all the time. He would go to Bosnia. He would go to those wars that were going on, the Gulf War, all the and I was with my mom. So my mom would take care of us while he was gone. My mom had a little bit of she liked to drink and party. So that kind of was instilled into me at a young age of seeing that and watching that. And then at about 11 years old, when my dad came home and retired, my mom decided that she didn't really want to do this anymore. I came home from school one day and she was like, "Shawn, I'm leaving." And I was like, "Well, where are we going?" And she goes, "No, Shawn, I'm leaving."
Oh.
And that not to with the self-pity aspect, but I really feel like that hurt me pretty bad at that age, So my dad took me and my sister, moved to Philadelphia at 11. That's where he grew up.
Yeah.
And my mom kind of stayed in Virginia Beach for a while. But my dad was working in Allentown, which was an hour away from where we were living. So he would leave at 4 a.m, not get home until 7 or 8 at night. And I was now 13, and I was just left with a lot of freedom. Too much freedom for a 13-year-old.
Right.
We're riding our bikes. Well, next thing you know, we're, asking the homeless guy outside the store to buy us a 40-ounce beer and, started doing little smoking weed in the woods, stuff like that. That's kind of where my drug addiction kind of took root, started to take prescription medication from kids in school. And I was still playing sports. I was a good soccer player, and that had slowly kind of deteriorated away because of just my priorities became drugs and alcohol at a young age. So senior year of high school, I had a couple schools talking to me about wanting to come play soccer there.
Yeah.
And my senior year of high school, I ended up getting arrested with it depends on how old you are, but too much marijuana than I should have had.
Okay.
And lost those scholarship offers and ended up going to a Division II school called Bloomsburg University. I was playing soccer there, intramural soccer there. I didn't play for the team. And I pledged a fraternity, which was probably one of the worst ideas because now it's just continuously partying and drugs. And I even failed out of school and continued to live at the frat house and just use and sell drugs. I mean, I say that not in a proud way. It's embarrassing now, but I had a close run-in with the police at that point, which I called my mother, who was now down here in Texas, because this is where she grew up. And I said, "Mom, I need help. I'm not doing anything positive. I'm just up here selling drugs. I need this isn't the life I want to live. So she goes, okay, well, I'm not going to fly you down here, but I'll get you a Greyhound bus ticket. So it took 6 days from Philadelphia. I think we went to like Ohio. It took us all over.
Wow.
And I've seen some stuff on that Greyhound bus trip that I've never seen anywhere else. That was pretty crazy.
But you knew at that age that like you said, this is not the life I want to live.
Yeah. I had a great family, great upbringing. Like besides, the stuff with my mom, like I had my parents were there. Like I wasn't raised around, the drug life, stuff like that. And I definitely knew that this isn't what I wanted to continue on. So when I asked her for help, she goes, okay, you can come down here. So I moved to Texas.
Yeah.
Thinking that if I moved here that everything would change and all of a sudden I'd have it all together. And unfortunately, it wasn't like that. I moved to Texas, and my mom says, Shawn, you're not just going to like live down here and, work at the bar. There was a bar on the corner that I was like bar backing, like I would go get the ice but I was still living that life. I was still drinking. I was still doing things I shouldn't have done. So she goes, Shawn, you're not just going to do that. You're not just going to live here like that. So I said, okay, well then I'll join the military. That'll fix it, So I joined the Marines. They went out to California, went through boot camp, ended up like becoming a squad leader. I was like really good at it. Came home for leave and did the same thing I continued to do and messed up.
No.
Yep. Messed up again, went back, failed a drug test, and now I'm kicked out of the Marines. So now I'm 22 years old, lost a full ride scholarship for soccer, go to college, failed out of college, and I'm kicked out of the Marines. I'm just like setting up failure after failure. Like I'm even starting to now get to where I'm like losing hope in myself. Like, do I even have what it takes to do right? So my mom gets me a job selling cars. And I'm actually good at it. I like to communicate with people. I like to, I like sales because it's like building relationships,
Yeah, you're a good talker.
So thanks. So I'm doing pretty good with the car sales. And then I meet this girl and we start dating and I didn't realize that, she tells me, Shawn, I'm on the run from the police. I'm like, well, for what? This girl, she's a 5 foot tall, little, like small little girl. I'm like, what could you be on the run from the police for? And she's like, well, I got caught selling drugs and I'd never completed my probation and stuff. So now I'm on the run. So me, not being the smartest person at this point, I'm like, well, why don't you move in with me?
Oh.
So I literally move her in with me the first day we met or went on a date.
Yeah.
I move her in with me. And that is the first time I come across methamphetamine, which is a really bad drug that takes people's lives away from them. You know what I mean? It just ruins a person. And so that was where the downhill spiral started. She actually ended up going back to prison because we thought we were trying to do the right thing by getting her like, hey, let's go to your probation office and try to get all your stuff right and get your stuff together. And they tricked us. So we took her in there and they were like, I can't believe you fell for this. We're detaining her. So they took her to jail. It was about a year that she was gone. And for that year, I continued to use and sell drugs and lie to her about it, like saying, oh, I've got it together. I'm doing good out here. Because I thought that I was trying to like protect her.
Right.
She came home from prison and I was trying to live this double life of like be a good man and try to like stay clean for her. But then at the same time, I was still behind her back doing things I shouldn't have been doing. And she ended up getting pregnant with my son, which was the huge blessing. She had, she was able to keep it all together. We were able to keep it together. We had my son. But then shortly after my son was born, she relapsed and she got sent back to prison again.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah. And about that time, and I'm super open with it. All this stuff I'm saying is embarrassing.
Were you old enough to take care of your son by yourself?
So I was old enough, but I wasn't responsible enough.
I was going to say, okay,
were
you
like I
mature enough to?
No, I was not mature enough.
Okay.
I was still addicted to drugs too badly. So my mother and my ex-wife's mother kind of took over that responsibility of that. And about 6 months later, the best thing that ever happened to me was I ended up getting caught by the DEA for selling drugs. Absolute best thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. I'm so thankful to all police, to all law enforcement. I don't look back with any sort of like them doing their job gave me the opportunity to be here and tell this story now,
right.
So like I'm really appreciative of so anyways, they kicked my door in. They actually pulled me over and found me with it's like embarrassing to say, right? But they found me with some drugs.
Yeah.
Then they said to me, well, here's a card, a business card. Take this card. We're going to let you go. You have to call this number tomorrow. So me thinking, not knowing enough about how all of like the police stuff work, I didn't realize it was federal police, state police, that there's a difference in all this.
Sure.
So I was driving home, throw the card out the window, and I'm like, oh my God, thank you for letting me out of this. I didn't realize that there was still going to be repercussions. So about 3 months after that is when they come and kick my door in. And that's when my whole like federal proceedings start. First time ever in trouble, I get sentenced to 13 and a half years in federal prison.
13 and a half.
First time ever like that. I had that trouble when I was a senior in high school, but I was 17.
Yeah.
So this was the first time after that I'd been arrested or in trouble for anything. I had lied to myself for all these years saying, well, the first time I get in trouble, it's okay. I'll just get probation like everyone else does. I didn't realize, I skipped that level of probation and get sentenced to 13 and a half years. And like I said, it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Charged for?
Possession with intent to distribute narcotics.
And methamphetamine was that was
the
drug of choice.
That was the drug at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
13 and a half years.
Yep.
How much meth did they find on you?
So good question. And this is how the whole system was kind of weird. They caught me with a half ounce that time that they let me go, 14 grams.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was actually charged in sentencing, they charged me with 2.7 keys, which is about 6.5 pounds. Because what happened was they let the guy that was selling it to me they caught him and then let him continue to sell to us and keep ledgers of everything that we were buying. So they call it ghost dope because it wasn't ever caught on me, but they call it relevant conduct. I am responsible for that much of, so that's how that ended up going down.
And the street price for 6.5 pounds?
Well, at that time was $20,000, but probably about $120,000 or so.
Oh my.
Yeah, way more than I ever had or so like because if you think about it, it was that much, but never at one time. It was small scale.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I was not some baller, I promise.
13 and a half years, where?
So since it was federal, they started me out at Oakdale, Louisiana. Then they sent me to Forest City, Arkansas. And then they sent me to Texarkana to finish. But there were some blessings in between there.
Mm-hmm.
I decided that the entire time I was going to be gone, I was going to do everything and take every single course, every class, every parenting class, anything that was offered, I took it. I got a 2-year associate degree to East Arkansas Community College in business management. I got 4 personal training certifications. I lost 100 pounds. I went in very large. I started seminary school, but realized that was not for me. I think that was just kind of I was like really into my relationship with God and I was like, well, I'll do this, but that was one that didn't work out. That was not for me. And then I was training. I had about 10 or 15 guys in there that I was training. And that's where the personal training thing came up. There was a doctor who was in there, was like, Shawn, you're really good at this. He goes, if you want, I'm willing to pay for your certifications. Huge blessing because I didn't have money coming in. My family wasn't, sending me money in prison.
Right.
So he paid for all my certifications. I still talk to him to this day. Doc is what we call him. And that's how – and that kind of plays into the rest of the story. But then I filed an appeal because when they kicked my door in, they found a handgun but I was not a felon at that point.
Yeah.
So they charged me with it, but ended up having to drop that. So that took me that was 5 years. So that took me from 13 and a half to 8.5. And then President Obama gave everybody in prison that didn't have violence on a drug case 2 years off. So that took me to around 6.5 years, and I ended up doing 6 on it.
Okay. And so no time off for good behavior.
That's factored in. Well, the federal, you do 85% of it. There's no good time or time off. Yeah, you're doing 85% of your time in the feds. And that time that I got off, because it came at the end, I ended up getting to do 6 months in the halfway house.
What would you consider the one life lesson you learned in the 6 years in prison?
In prison, that's such a good question.
That's why I'm the host.
That's a great question. I would say I realized that I had taken everything. I grew up very privileged, my dad, anything I needed, my parents got me. I never really had to want for much. And I think that I took a life for granted, all of it. I think I just assumed that I was going to be successful and the life was going to be handed to me and I didn't have to work that hard. And so I think that prison kind of took that out of my mindset that life was going to be easy.
Yeah.
And I realized, no, I'm going to have to work hard and I'm going to have to make changes and it's not just going to be handed to me. So I think that was one of them. And then also just family. I realized that I had such a great dad that I realized that I was missing out on that. Like, so I made sure that like getting home, and that's why those parenting classes were so important to me, because I actually got to they actually let him come for a Father's Day and spend a whole day with me.
Right.
So like, I was like, I want to be a good dad, and I want to like stop taking life for granted. Like
the importance of a dad in the household.
Yeah, that's a big part of what we do. Yeah.
Sure. So while you're in prison, who's taking care of the son?
So good question. He was with my mom. So my mom was doing it, and she straight up told me in the beginning, Shawn, I don't want to do this. Like, I raised you. I didn't sign up to raise. So initially, my son was with my mother, my mother-in-law, so my ex-wife's mom.
Mm-hmm.
There was a great woman, but there was just, she was older, and some things happened where like the police would bring my son home because he would go running down the street in a, underwear or whatever. And so the police would bring him home, and eventually my mom just stepped in and she goes, Linda, her name was Linda. Thank you so much for everything you're doing and for your help. And Linda was completely okay with that. She was like, thank you, like
we'll take it from here.
Yeah. So that was a huge blessing. And then when I finally got out of prison, so
what year?
So it was 2016.
Okay.
I get out of prison, I go to a halfway house, and the first thing I do is get a job training at this gym, making $12.50 an hour, and I was stoked. Like, I thought I made it. You know what I mean? Like, I was getting $500 a week. My goal was to get an efficiency apartment, maybe get a little car, and just get my son back, and I was good. Like, my desires of what I wanted to have, prison will really knock you down of like what you think you're capable of. You know what I mean?
2016, you're $12.50 an hour in a gym, and you're how old?
32, 33.
Okay.
I'm 40 now.
Right.
So, okay. 33, 34. So I'm working for this guy, and I'm so proud of it. Like, I'm going to the mall, I'm handing out my cards, like I'm bringing all these people into his gym. And there's a lady there that I start becoming friends with, and kind of like, I wouldn't say dating, I'd say just more friends in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And she's like, Shawn, why don't we open our own gym? And I look at her and I'm like, I have a 490 credit score and $17 to my name. I was like, I think that'd be an awesome idea, but I just don't have the way to make it happen, Yeah. So we kind of laughed about it. I thought I would have lost her at that point, once I told her my credit score, but for some reason she stayed around. And she brought it up again down the road. She goes, Shawn, I really think that we need to do this ourselves. So I said, well, Christy, we could see if we can get a loan, or I don't know. She goes, no, Shawn, I have the money. And I didn't know this at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, I had no clue. And she was like, Shawn, I have the money, and I feel like this is what we're supposed to do with it. So that was 2017. So within that first year of getting out of prison, I got mutually with my ex-wife, we filed for a divorce together, and she gave me custody of Caden. So I have full custody of him. She still sees him, but she just was like, I know that this is important to you.
Right.
So I'm going to let you have the decision-making part of it. And we have a great relationship, all three of us in the family. We're able to all keep it cordial, spend time together. We spent Easter together. So,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's a cool relationship there. Well, what else? Oh, so within the first year, so we had that, got custody of my son. Me and Christy, who's my new wife, we got married, and then we opened the first gym all within that first year. So it was really 100 miles an hour out the gate.
Wow.
And it's kind of good for me.
But it keeps you. I was going to say it keeps you off the streets.
Exactly.
But
that's true.
It's such a cliche, but in this case, literally,
it could not be more factual than in this case. It's the exact truth.
How'd you come about forming Second Chance Mentors?
Okay, so after the gym had been going for about a year, maybe 6 months to a year, there was an Arlington police officer that worked out at the gym, and he was like, Shawn, would you come and share your testimony at Turning Point Academy, which is basically our equivalent to what we have here at the Phoenix Academy in Mansfield. Mm-hmm. They have Turning Point Academy, which is
alternative.
It's their
education.
Alternative school, exactly. So I went in there one day, and they brought me 33 young men, and I was sharing my testimony and talking to these kids, and these are supposed to be I'm doing air quotes, the bad kids, right?
Right.
Man, these kids were so attentive and asking awesome questions, and you could tell they were excited about this conversation. And at the end, the counselor comes in. He goes, I just want to ask, how many of you guys have a male role model or father figure in your life whatsoever? Only 3 of the 33 kids raised their hand.
Wow.
I literally, and I'm not a tough guy. I know I'm kind of bigger, but I cried driving home because I was like, okay, I really feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. That day, I got on the computer on LegalZoom or whatever it was, and I filed all the paperwork to start to start Second Chance Mentors. And luckily, there was another teacher that worked out at our gym, and she was a principal, and she connected me with Regina Crane. I don't know if you know who Regina Crane is, but she was the principal at the Phoenix Academy at that time.
Yes.
So basically, she gave us the perfect pathway to this program. So I would go in once a week. She would give me 10, 15 kids, and we still do this. I'll share my story, or we'll teach credit, or we'll do whatever. It'll change each week depending on like what I feel like the kids might be worth talking to them about that week. And then if the kids decide they want to be part of Second Chance Mentors, they can apply. There's like a little application process. And then we will reach out to whoever is the guardian just to make sure that they have permission. And then they have 5 things a month that they have to do, like requirements. They have to do, with a mentor, they have to do short-term, long-term goals, which is just to kind of give them vision of what they want to do. They have to have good attendance in class. They have to be showing up to school. We used to have grades on there as a criteria, but the problem is a lot of these kids bust their butt to get C's and D's like I did, and I didn't want them to feel like that they weren't qualified or they weren't, you know what I mean? So we took the grades part off, but they have to show us that they're putting in effort. They can't just be like have no assignments turned in on time or anything like that. So community service is a big part of it. They have to do 2 hours of community service. And then the last one, I think I said attendance, and then just no run-ins with like the police or law enforcement. And if something does happen, they have to come to us and disclose it to kind of help them through it. So that's kind of our program right there. That's kind of how we do it.
We're talking with youth mentor Shawn Serfass, and we will continue said interview next week. In the meantime, this is the place where you'll hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, engage, connect, amplify, elevate. Love or support this podcast if you haven't already, so you never miss an episode. It's free and it's easy. Head on over to our website, aboutmansfield.com. Enter your email address right there on the homepage. We will never, ever, 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 ever send you any spam. That is my promise to you.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor feature, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Post-production, editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without prior written consent is strictly prohibited. We thank you all for listening on behalf of the entire news team. I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield.